Good morning and happy Monday. Happy Monday. Um, it's a perfect day, isn't it, to practice and study English. It's cloudy. It's not raining very hard, but there's enough rain and enough cloud that it's perfect for us to study today, isn't it? First of all, I'm very happy to say for those of you in class who have been coming to Zoom, you will know that on Tuesday and Thursday last week, I was a little nervous because my vaccination appointment was on Friday. And I'm very happy to say that my vaccination went very well. It was so very well organized, and the people were very friendly. They were very helpful, and I felt fine. A little bit after, I felt a little bit strange. Mostly, I think, because my mind was very relieved to have had the vaccine. But my arm was a little sore for a day. But other than that, I had no reaction. Neither myself or my wife had any problems. So it was very good. Today, we're going to keep talking about COVID a little bit. I know we're probably getting tired of that. But this week, we're going to change our conversation. We're going to look at some COVID questions that are common ones. And now that I have been vaccinated, there's a good example of one of the practice tenses that we have been studying. Which one is that? Have been studying. Have been vaccinated. Anyway, what I'm going to also do is spend some time this week on vaccination, on the questions you will be asked, and how perhaps you can ask questions to the nurses there. Today's lesson will have two parts to it. The first part is about COVID and face masks. So let's just take a look at this. You will see in part 2 of today's post an attachment, and we have done this before. You'll see the post. It's going to say attachment, and you click on the attachment, and when it opens, you will see a lesson that looks like this. What you need to do is have an old-fashioned booklet like this. This is mine that I use. Take a pen, pencil, and I'll take you through the parts of this lesson that I want you to prepare and have ready for tomorrow's Zoom class. Okay, so you should have a pencil, a paper, and be ready. The first thing, when the lesson opens, you will see some questions. They will look like this. It says pre-reading, and then it has some warm-up questions. 3 warm-up questions. Why do healthcare workers wear face masks? So if you go to the vaccination site, I went to Beban Park. You will see many different healthcare workers, a lot of them young people from the Red Cross, all of them wearing masks and other PPE. This acronym, it's not really an acronym, it's a short form, PPE. And we'll take a look at that little word in a moment. They are wearing face masks, and they require you to wear a face mask. And we know last week, or 2 weeks ago, we read information on the government of BC's website about COVID. One of the ways to protect you and your family, even after you have been vaccinated, there's that tense again, is to wear a face mask. Why do healthcare workers, and healthcare workers could be nurse, it could be doctor, it could be a technician, it could be a first responder like me, anyone who provides health service. It's a healthcare worker. Why do everyday citizens sometimes need face masks? Here it says sometimes. I guess I'm not wearing one right now, so that's because I'm at home and the only person near me is my cat, so I don't have to worry, but that's probably why they choose sometime. Do you have a face mask? If yes, when and where do you wear it? If no, why not? What I would like you to do on your piece of paper is spend some time, think about these questions, and write a short answer, short paragraph. And your paragraph should have 5 sentences. We'll call it a paragraph. It should have a first sentence, a topic sentence. And your topic sentence is always this general sentence that tells the reader what the rest of the paragraph will be about. Topic sentence. Then it should have 3 detail sentences, and then it ends with a short closing sentence. So for the first one, why do healthcare workers wear face masks? A short paragraph might be something like, healthcare workers often wear face masks. First, a face mask protects themselves. Second, a face mask protects others. Third, I don't know. The government says they must when they are dealing with patients, something like this. So a little short paragraphs. So you're going to write them on paper first, and tomorrow at the start of our Zoom class, I'm going to ask people to share their paragraphs in 2 ways. Some people will have to read their paragraphs. Some people will have to type their paragraphs in the chat. Some people will have to show them to me. The key thing is, if you come to Zoom tomorrow, you need to have those 3 short answers. So that's the first thing you need to do in this section. The second thing is hard. Vocabulary preview. I'm going to read these words and give you a sentence and a little bit of information about each word, okay? My cat wants to join us, but she can't. Essential. Essential. The computer is essential for online learning. So something that is essential is something that you need, something very important. Pandemic. Pandemic. Now, I think we should know what a pandemic is. I think we've talked about this word before, so I don't think I need to give you an idea of what that is. The third word is also a word I think you know, social distancing. Social distancing. This is a new word. 1 year ago, before the COVID pandemic, I don't think we used the word ever social distancing, but we do now. Mandatory. Mandatory. If you drive a car, it is mandatory that you have a driver's license. Mandatory means something that the law says you need to do, something you don't have a choice about. Shortage. There is a shortage of sunshine today. Of course, it's cloudy. Shortage, it means something you don't have enough of. Personal protective equipment. Personal protective equipment. PPE. Now, this was a word that firefighters, first responders, hospital workers used before COVID, and the average person did not. But now with COVID, it's a common word. PPE refers to gloves, masks, gowns, anything that you use to protect yourself from infection, mostly clothing that you put on. First responder. Your teacher, Gerald, is a certified first responder. First responders are people who generally work in ambulances or fire trucks. They are the people who respond, who go to emergencies. There's many levels. The first responder is the first level. A little bit more advanced, actually quite a bit more advanced, are paramedics, who are very close to the skills a doctor has. So first responder. Next you see a idiom, face the reality. Face the reality. Stigma. There is a lot of stigma about, I'm trying to think of an example sentence. Stigma is when people have a bad opinion about something because they have heard information about them that is upsetting. Okay, so stigma, for example, if someone was in jail, it's often very hard for a person to find a job because once people find out they have been in jail, they think, ooh, bad person. So there is stigma to having been in jail. The new normal is a very common idiom we are seeing. So here's some words, 10 words. These are the words meaning in a fancy way. So in your paper, you don't need to write down the full sentences, but maybe you would like to. Maybe just write down the 10 words and then match them, A, B, C, D, and so on. Word to word meaning. And you're going to need that because in part 3 of today's post, I'm going to give you a quiz that has a matching exercise like this. So you're going to need to remember the letters. Then read this. This is an interesting little article on face masks. And the last thing is 6 questions here. Read the questions, maybe copy them down, maybe write a sentence or two in response. You will need to answer these same questions in the quiz that is part 3. The last thing that I've posted for you is this. This is a short video of a 911 call. Listen to the 911 call and listen for the questions that the dispatcher asks. Write them down because you will have to do a little assignment with them. That's today's lesson. We'll see you tomorrow.